Hey everyone, it's RichardMetalFan here, bringing you guys a brand new interview. And today, special guest, we're joined by none other than my good friend Lindsay Schoolcraft, who is a solo artist, former keyboard player for Cradle of Filth, and to finally get a chance to interview her. Great friend of mine, like I said I finally got around to this. It's been a long time coming, so let's go talk to Lindsay. So here I am with my homie Lindsay Schoolcraft up in Oshawa, Canada. Lindsay, how you doing?
Really good. How are you?
Doing good. I'm glad we finally got to do this. I've been looking for
Finally.
this for a long, long time, and it's finally come to fruition.
Finally, yes.
Yeah, yeah, it's been a while since we last saw each other, about almost a year ago at a Starbucks in Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, I remember we
beautiful.
did. Yeah, we did a little vlog there, and just like some stuff like I forgot to wanted to do apple not in that vlog, but also ask is like, what was like your first impression of me then and about now? You're probably thinking like just another fan.
No, I think you are like extremely sweet and polite and kind and just so easy to talk to. And like, I never think someone is just another fan. Like, you definitely stand out as someone who really gives a shit about metal. And I
Yes.
appreciate that. You know your stuff, and that means a lot because you wouldn't believe how many interviews I've walked into where people just like they don't do their research. But like, I watched your interview with Zen, and you really knew his history, and it was awesome. I'm like, wow, this guy really cares. It's so
Yeah, I know my
cool.
shit.
You do, yeah. So you're a really cool bean.
Oh yeah. So basically the format is I got your catalog right here. Just try to go through your stuff. But before we do that, what were like the first bands that got you into metal and just like really just wanted you to be in a vocalist and be in a band? I mean,
Oh wow! I mean, I started in punk,
yeah.
so there was that. But I think what put me more towards metal was back that new metal explosion in the early 2000s. So
I was
like,
like six at that time.
yeah, you're a wee one, and like Slipknot, Korn, Kitty, Chevelle, Linkin Park, Evanescence, like that era of metal, I guess to say. And then it just kind of it went into that, and then all of a sudden, I'd say late 2000s, I really got into Camelot and Epica and Nightwish, and that was like my introduction to symphonic metal. So that was like there was two eras in my life that were extremely influential, which led to black metal and so on.
Right. I feel like your background is similar to mine. I was sort of into that whole new metal stuff. Like you've mentioned, like Evanescence, Linkin Park. I used to like them when I was 10 years old. I can also add like POD and Roach at that time. They were sort of like my gateway
Right.
ways. But then I was also like into that pop punk shit with like Blink 182, Sum 41, Simple Plan, and
I loved them. Like, we had here in Canada, we had such a boom of pop punk. There was like Simple Plan, Not by Choice, Sum 41, Rufio, like all this crazy underground Sugar Cult, like Ataris. Like, that was huge here. That was like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. That music's great.
yeah, yeah. And I remember yeah, and then of course I was also in middle school was into that alternative metal scene like Breaking Benjamin, Three Days Grace, Chevelle.
Right,
Like if you
right.
ever, I don't know if you're familiar with if you watch those like old AMVs on YouTube with like Linkin Park, Evanescence, since Breaking Benjamin and stuff with like Kingdom Hearts and stuff.
You mean like AMVs, like American Music
Like
Video, or like,
anime music
oh,
videos, they would have like
no.
I used
No,
to
I
watch that
haven't.
when I was a teenager, but then of course I got into of course metal from my dad, like the classics, Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Iron Maiden,
Oh,
Judas
yeah.
Priest, King Diamond, Merciful Fate, so on and so forth. But it wasn't
Right.
until like later I started getting into heavier bands. Like my introduction was like probably like 15 or so when I got into like Cannibal Corpse and Black Dahlia Murder. Those were like my gateways into
Nice.
death metal, and then I discovered some black metal bands. But I kind of thought it was weird as a kid, but then as I got older, I'm now really loving it. Like I love Behemoth, Dark Throne, Dark Funeral, a lot
You
of that.
got good taste.
I have like a diverse taste. Like I can like the most heaviest shit to like metalcore and deathcore,
Yeah,
haircore shit. But yeah,
good.
yeah, but what was also the first bands that you were in, like before, like Marion Black Lamb, which we'll get into in a sec?
Oh, yeah. So my first band was at a high school, and we were called Princess Riot, and we were like an all-girl punk band. We weren't that great. I don't recommend checking it out because that was like, I call that my training wheels. Like, that was my first 6 years of trying to be in a band and compose music, and it was a hot mess, you know, like it was like we had almost as many lineup changes as Cradle of Filth, and
shit.
you know, it was brutal. It was brutal, and we did do an album, but like you can't find it anywhere because it wasn't properly registered or published or anything. So it was cool. I mean, I was the lead singer and I played bass.
Wow, I didn't know you played bass.
Yeah, I played bass seriously for like 8 years, and I feel like if I discovered technical death metal, I don't think I would have given it up, because I was getting into, at the time, like my teacher didn't know about it, but I was getting into like funk and slap and pop bass, and then I was like, you know what, like I want to train in opera and piano. I don't want to do this anymore. And then I came back to, you know, heavy metal and like Dying Fetus and Cannibal Corpse, and I'm like, oh my god, why did I give up the bass? Like this, who would have thought that this is what the bass guitar could be?
Yeah, like,
you know,
listen to like Alex Webster or Sean Beasley from Dying Fetus, like you'd be.
Right? Oh, they're amazing. They're just like, I watch them on stage and I'm like, how do? So,
oh wow.
Yeah, it's
awesome.
incredible.
But then, of course, I guess in 2009 you released As the City Sleeps. Like, how did this this was like your first like well-known band that people best know you by. How did this album come to be, like the whole writing and recording process?
Well, some of those songs are from Princess Riot. She is Stay Away. Forgot You Now, I think is the name of the song. I don't remember. It's been so long. I'm like, oh, I don't remember. So it was a few songs that we took from Princess Riot and we incorporated into that. And then from there, I started working with a local guitarist and bassist, and we found a really good producer who was out here locally, and he helped us, you know, bring that to fruition. And then I added still to this day, my friend Matt Kelly, keyboardist, very talented electronic music composer. And it just happened. I was so young. I mean, in 2009, I think I guess it would have been an 8. I was in my early 20s. Like, I was such a wee baby, you know, like I was like, I'm going to do this seriously and take this seriously. But again, due to my lack of leadership skills at the time, it absolutely fell apart. But it was a really cool journey. Like we toured Eastern Ontario and Quebec, like quite a bit, like Eastern Canada tours in a van, you know, with Daedalene Complex, who I eventually ended up working with, singing on their albums. But it was just, it feels like so long ago. Like we're talking like 11, 12 years ago, which is, I can't believe that has come and gone. Yeah, I'd say I was 22. Like I was really young.
Yeah, I was 15
it was
in
like
2009.
Yeah, so you know, it's just like
I was
that.
only a freshman in high school.
Oh, oh, little Richard. So you know, like it's just, it was a thing, and it was very sad when we dissolved, because it was like my second failed band, and I was like, damn, like, am I gonna keep doing this? But it's okay. I love that album. Very proud of it.
Yeah, it's still a banging album
Thank
like
you.
all over 11 years later. But then also, what made you decide to be a solo artist?
I just had enough with being in bands, ironically enough. At the time, I was like, I don't do well in bands. Like, I have my own ideas. I don't know who inspired it. It's just like, you know what, if you go solo, you can hire out who you want. You can write what you want. You don't have to. I think I was just done with other people telling me what I should be doing when I'm the one doing all the work and investing all the money. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to go solo. So that was kind of my tipping point. And then I just put out my first EP, you know, and then things changed rapidly again. Yes, that one there. And I think you have the original. Do you have the original in the plastic?
I don't know.
I have to find one for you. I might have an extra one. Yeah, this is a reissue. The first copy, I'll try to find one for you.
Yeah, I remember I saw it on I almost had a chance to get it on eBay. Somebody was selling it for like $80. No, it was Amazon or something. I think I told you that, but then I missed out, and I was like, damn it. I'm glad to own this. Like, this is actually kind of, compared to going from this to this, like this was like had some heavier stuff, but this one feels like softer and
it is.
Like makes you just want to slow dance and shit.
Yeah, it was very ethereal and just like chill and very fantasy based. It was like, Yeah, you know what I mean? It wasn't anything like it was kind of like, I feel like I call it my resume moving into what I actually wanted to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was really proud of that because like I remember going through that and writing the songs. I used to live in the same house. How many ever years ago it was? I guess it'd be 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
And staying up late at night, recording, writing in the basement. I'm upstairs right now in the office, and it was me just really being like, okay, you know, like I can do this myself. But of course, like it always comes with the story of the struggle. I had like 3 producers bottom out on me. And then finally my buddy Sean at the recording house in Scarborough, he was like, well, I can help you finish it. So I really appreciated that because it just felt like such a long time coming. And I'm like, oh my God, I said I wanted to become a solo artist and this has taken so long, you know. But yeah, it was weird. Like it didn't have any rock element in it. And I'm like, why did I do that?
Yeah. No, it's not a metal album per se, but it's still,
No.
it definitely has like some great songs on there, like Into the Night, Your Mind, December Rain, Masquerade, awesome songs. But then what of course led up to you hooking up with the Cradle homies up in the UK, you know what I'm saying?
That just like literally happened months after I released that EP. Like I released the EP. The next month I'm on a plane studying for an exam because I'm in university.
Yeah.
And I'm heading to Belgium to MFVF, and then I was connected with the right people, and then that Christmas, Cradle calls me, and they're like, hey, we need a keyboardist singer, and I'm like, okay, well, that was a change of scenery for sure. So that just happened and very, very quickly. And in the beginning, I was like, man, I don't know, like that is a big name professional band. Like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. I don't know if I can do this, but
yeah. And I was like a fan of Cradle probably around 2012 or so. Like even like before you joined. I'm not just saying it because you were a fan. I've been in there liking them before that.
Yeah.
But then, then when you joined Cradle, did you like look at like all their past stuff and be like, this is what I need to do, or did like Danny and the rest of the guys wanted you to bring your own mix to the band?
It's such a strange thing with Cradle because like I personally am a fan. Like my 3 favorite albums are Midian, Cruelty, and Dusk. Like that's my favorite era of Cradle.
Like that.
And the thing that was challenging about writing for Cradle was it was like you really had to stick to that specific sound. So I did a little bit more work on, like I barely did anything for Cryptoriana, and I contributed a little bit to Hammer of the Witches, a little chunk. Yeah, that one there. I'm very proud of that record. Very proud of it.
Yeah, what was that like? Like now being like a first album with you in the band. Of course, they also had our homies Ashok and Richard Shaw, aka After Me.
Yeah, and Daniel Firth. Daniel Firth like contributed to. Like Martin was always there. Martin had been there since Godspeed.
Yeah, and I know Daniel played bass on Manticore as well.
Yeah, he did. That was really
a session
exciting
guy, but then he joined a little bit afterwards officially.
Yeah, he's a cool bean. Yeah, definitely. It was a really interesting experience for sure. But I did sometimes try to implement I like really big like luscious melodies, and Cradle is really extreme, and it just wasn't working. Cradle's very like pow 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 in your face, like woo, extreme metal, you know, where I'm very
just be like
somber and chill, and I want influence of Russian classical, just weird stuff. So it just didn't jive. But I mean, I just went ahead and was influenced by the older music and tried to bring a little bit of that to Hammer of the Witches. And then I really didn't do much for Cryptoriana, but it's weird with Cradle. It's one of those things where I'm not a founding member, and you have to really uphold that specific sound, and it's not bad. Cradle's like a legacy band, like legendary. It's just like it wasn't something that I really. It's like Cinderella not putting on the glass slipper, but Cinderella putting on soccer shoes. It just it was just weird. It just didn't. The shoe didn't fully fit.
And this album was actually sort of like I first saw Cradle for the first time on this touring cycle.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
And that's pretty much how we first met. It was
Yeah,
like
in the hallway
February.
of the venue. Yeah, I remember that. I was coming out of a meet and greet, I think.
Yeah, I think so. It was 2006. No, it was Cryptoriana was the next one. But I think the first time I saw you was 2016. That you played at the old Masquerade in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, beautiful venue.
Yeah. Of course, there's after that you all played. They actually had relocated to Underground.
Mhm.
And I remember that show. Like it's on YouTube. Like I mentioned before. Like there was that religious protester beforehand.
I don't understand people who waste their time doing that, but yeah.
Yeah, and that dude was a broken record. Like I think we already mentioned that before the last time we talked
Yeah.
in person. But yeah, and then your second and last album with Cradle, Bill Cryptoriana. I
Yes.
thought this was a great album. Great album. I thought it was a good follow up to Hammer of the Witches.
Yeah, the guys did a really good job.
Yeah. Yeah, just I think you only did like the narration vocals on this, if I'm not
Yeah, I
mistaken.
did a little bit of singing, a little bit of narration, one piano line, the manner of whatever. I think it's just a bonus track. Yeah, it was they really had their own idea on what they wanted to do with that album, and I was like, okay, like y'all know what you want. I'm not gonna try to mess with the good things.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, and sadly it was the last album. Was it kind of like around that whole touring cycle? You just feel like you wanted to just get out?
It was it was my mental health that really
Yeah,
plummeted, and it was because there was just no
great.
space to take a break. It was Cradle is a machine that just keeps going, and we did 2 world tours in 2 years. Like usually most bands do 1 year or a year and a half of a world tour, and then they take some time off to recuperate. But there was no recuperation, and I was slowly getting sick and developing anxiety, and like there was stuff from my childhood that I mentally didn't deal with, and it was just bubbling to the surface, and it
Yeah.
was
I remember you did like a video a while ago called "Assumptions Are Toxic," which
yeah, because like you shouldn't assume things. Like people just see what they see on the surface, but they don't necessarily like try to understand the whole thing. They just base it off of like little tidbits of knowledge when they don't really have the full story.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, and like people have been saying, oh, you left Cradle of Filth for Antiqua, and I'm like, well, Antiqua didn't have anything when I left. So
Yeah, I heard you like started Antigua even while you were in.
oh yeah, this is something that Zen and I had coming for a long time, and it was just time to move on, because I knew, like, literally we got off of that world tour and then they're like, okay, now we have to write the album, and I'm like, I am so sick, like I'm physically ill every day from anxiety and depression to the point of it being crippling, like, and you want me to write an album? Like, no. Like
That kind of sounds a bit fucked up.
well, that's the thing. It's just like go. Like there's like I just don't remember, and it's fine. Like the guys can function like that. They have the energy, and that's fine. Like kudos to them. But for me, like especially around releasing Martyr, and I told them, okay, guys, like I have to release Martyr, and then I will be available from, I think I said like November, December to write some stuff. At that point, they already started writing things, and I'm like, okay, well, like I don't know, is this going to be Cryptoriana over again, where y'all know what you want, and I don't really get to put in anything, which is fine. Every band, like, there's nothing wrong with that. Every band functions very differently. But by the time it came to the end of November last year, and they're like, okay, like you need to write, I sat down at the piano and I just cried, because I was like, I'm so sick, nothing is coming out. Like I need to recuperate, and I can't. Like there's nowhere to recuperate, and it's like, yeah, I had other things going on that had been planned for a long time that I had to like tie up loose ends. Like I had to do 2 solo shows before Christmas that my manager at the time booked. I couldn't get out of them. I part of me wanted to. I actually did. Like I'm glad I did those shows. I wish
I had the money to like fly up.
I know. I wish you came here too.
Yeah.
I think you were gonna try to come to the May show. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's the album that came out, and it's like, I wanted to cancel those shows, but I couldn't, So I toughed through it, and then at that point, I'm like, guys, I gotta go. Like, I'm so sick, and my doctor's worried about my heart and my health, and they were like, I really to this day don't know how some of them feel about it, because they weren't very good at like really saying how they felt about certain things, but I was sad, and it was like like a divorce. It was really like a very is it comuptual? I don't
Never even
remember.
heard that word.
Oh, I don't think I'm using the right word. It was a very like peaceful. Like I guess that's what I want to say. Like it wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any hard feelings.
Yeah.
But there wasn't really any expression of feelings. It's like, okay, like take care of yourself. We wish you well.
Yeah.
That's it. You know. But yeah, no, it was Martyr was a hot mess like that. The best part of Martyr, yeah, you're holding it here. Yeah, we were going to talk about it. Sorry, what did you want to ask about Martyr? Because it was all over the place.
I just think it's a great songs. Like some of those songs are actually like reworkings from, I believe Rushing Through the Sky. Like some of them are re-recorded.
Yeah, that took a long time to make because of Cradle's touring schedule. Like Rocky was extremely patient about me going away on tour. Just all around super talented dude.
Yeah, even though he didn't play on like Fallen, he didn't play. I think he played on the album after that.
He did. I know he had to contribute. He contributed quite a bit. He did play on the Open Door.
Yeah, which I only liked a few songs from that. I'm mostly a Fallen guy.
Fallen is a classic. I like the Open Door because it's very catered towards nerdy musicians. Yeah. I feel like Amy was writing for musicians, you know, like really like, oh, check out these chords, guys.
Yeah, I'd love to see them do like a 20-year anniversary of Fallen, which will be in 2023.
If I think about it all the time, and I'm like, I wish. I don't know. I'm just like looking at.
Like, I would just go for the like just the nostalgia. Just for the nostalgia, I like to see their old shit. Like even like songs they'd never played from that album, like Tourniquet, My Last Breath, like everything. That's like
definitely.
Some deep cuts they never played probably since that whole album cycle. Like I have to watch their Anywhere But Home DVD. I pretty much had it like synced up to where
that DVD.
To, like the album. I feel like where they're playing the songs like in order of the album listing.
Yeah,
that's like the closest I'll get to seeing an album playthrough.
I know, right? I mean, it would be cool.
Yeah, I know I'm getting way off track.
Oh, it's okay. We're talking about my favorite album ever, so I'm not
one of my favorites. Like that, I feel like 03 was that great year. There's like that, Linkin Park's Meteora. I don't know, just like.
Didn't A Perfect Circle have something come out around that time?
I was really big into them honestly.
I am.
I know.
Yeah.
So yeah, Martyr, great fucking album. But I also like your things with talking about mental health. Like, have you heard of? You should totally be like talk about this with like U Rock Foundation. They had like Jonathan Davis from Korn and Corey Taylor from Slipknot. I think you'd be a good candidate.
Really? I didn't even know about this.
And there's also like I Heart Support, which it's mostly like metalcore bands like that also have dealing with mental health and other personal struggles. I just think you would be great for that.
Oh yeah, who knows? Maybe they'll contact me.
Yeah, or you should
an
reach out
interesting
to
story.
them.
Yeah, actually, why not?
Yeah, then we also get to Worlds Away. Yeah, great. This is a great album. Great album. I liked how it's like some of those songs, especially from Martyr to this, like some of them seem like polar opposites. Some of these songs makes me want to bang my head and punch people. The other side makes me want to just hold up a lighter and cry.
And hug people.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, well, thank you. I'm so happy you like that. That was a super nerdy lockdown project this year. That just came out of nowhere. It was unreal. So I'm just happy that you liked it.
Yeah, it's a great album. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just so peaceful. People ever hearing? I remember seeing the one song. I believe it was forget which one. Which has you in like a garden field.
Oh, Worlds Away, like the.
Oh, Worlds Away.
Yeah.
I blinked out for a sec.
Hey.
I've been up since 5:30. Forgive me.
No, take your time. I've had those days. I get it.
Yeah. I just thought it was so peaceful. It's so like it's not really a metal per se, but it has sort of like that darker kind of like tone and atmosphere that pretty much has it.
Yeah, that's what I was going for. It was more of like a magical, weird, ambient, harp-driven thing. Of course, there had to be strings. It wouldn't be me if it didn't have some kind of strings happening. But yeah, I'm just happy that it's like done and out there. Yeah. It's been a crazy year.
Yeah, I know there's like, forget the one song where you actually, original version had piano, but then you transpose it to play on strings. I thought that was impressive.
Oh, thank you.
like that shows like how talented you really are.
You're too kind. I'm just nerdy.
hey, that makes both of us. Like I'm a huge nerd. I still like freaking Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings.
Yes, all good things.
Yeah, so you're not the only one.
hmm
And is there just anything else you'd like to add?
Well,
Like we also got Antiqua. We should also talk about. Like it's been a long time coming. Like I remember hearing the song "Funeral Crown," and I was like, "Holy shit!"
I'm so happy
I
you
was
liked
like
it.
waiting after what seems to be a fraction of an eternity of a of a 10,000 days.
It felt like forever, didn't it? Like for it to
Yeah,
actually show up.
I'm just stoked for the new album.
Oh, God, I have to finish it.
Hopefully it'll be in stores by the year 2350.
Oh no, I refuse to. I don't think Zen would allow that, and I definitely would not. Yeah, like that was it was nerve wracking because we knew what the demos sounded like. We had no idea what like a completed, fully like written and produced song was gonna sound like, especially since, no offense to Zen, he's not really done any of his vocals and lyrics over top. Like half of the album is done, but there's no, like, even the chants are just programmed bullshit Latin, like as placeholders until we actually do the chants in Romanian. So it was really nerve-wracking and just at the same time so exciting to finally hear what that band and that project was going to sound like. When the first song was done, we're like, oh my God, this is it. Like, this is what we've been hyping and freaking out about for all these years. And I was really nervous. Like, I didn't know what people were going to think, because it's, like, you can just be like, oh, they're just some Demo Batushka like hybrid ripoff, like blah blah blah.
I don't even hear that, to be honest.
Thank you. Well, that's what some people were scared of. Like friends, like close friends, are like, after everything you said, I was worried it was going to sound like this. And the response has just been incredible, and I felt good before it was released publicly, because I sent the track to quite a few people within my circle who I really respect the opinion of. And I said, hey, just like, let me know what you think of this. And they were like, holy crap. And I'm like, okay, so I guess we did something right. Like, I mean, we wrote it from the heart. Like, that was the first, like, priority, is like, leave your ego at the door. We're not in it for royalties or money, or it's not even our full-time job. We need to write this out of love and our love for music and what we want to see in a band. And we kept that at the forefront the whole time. And then, yeah, I'm just so happy you like it, because I was so nervous. I was like, okay, here goes nothing. It's like, going down the roller coaster.
I was anticipating when it said it's coming soon, and I'm like, oh shit, here we go.
I'm ready. I'm so ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's like next year's big project, is finishing that album and getting it recorded, and I'm so excited.
And hopefully when shit gets back to normal, we could see you out on the road.
Oh, I would love that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I can hook you up. I got some friends rocking up in ATL, you know what I'm saying? Get this shit.
I would love that. Oh, that would be so good. Yeah, we'll figure something out. I mean, it's just such a foreign concept. I like when people ask me about touring and going, like, going and playing live shows. I'm just like, I don't know. Like, we can't right now, so like I can't.
Hopefully this vaccine, there's a vaccine coming soon. Hopefully I heard like the FDA approved one. I heard from something, so
we've rolled out here in Canada. Pfizer's going ahead with the manufacturing, from what I understand.
I just hope it works. I hope there's no like weird like side effects, like I grow like a third arm or a
no. If like for side effects like that, you'd have to like literally live next to a nuclear reactor for a few weeks.
Damn.
Like I have a background in biology, and I know kind of like how viruses work and how to combat them and how vaccinations are made. And I really don't think there's going to be anything in the vaccine that's like otherwise like going to kill people. I mean, Bill Gates kind of shot himself in the foot with what he was saying. And, like I can go down the conspiracy theorist like rabbit hole. I think some people just say really stupid things and don't realize how out of context they sound and how out of context they can go. But I am so vaccinated, like since I was a kid, like especially traveling, like the amount of vaccinations I've had to get. I mean, like
I had some when I was a kid as well.
Yeah, like you have to, like, you know, it's herd
Chickenpox and,
immunity.
like chickenpox and all that.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just like I would rather protect myself and protect others than, especially those who can't get vaccines or have immune issues, because it just seems like the ethical thing to do. And I've never, I mean, maybe I've gotten dumber, but like I think I blame that on the radiation from being in the planes for like all these years, like flying from gig to gig. But I've never grown an extra toe, or, you know, like I think I have well over like 30 vaccinations, and I'm like, no, I'm good, I'm healthy, I think.
You're tough.
Yeah, I believe in science, I guess. I know that's a crazy thing to say, and some people are like, yeah, you don't know, no idea what you're talking about. And I'm just like, I don't have time. I have an album to write. Like, what do you want from me?
All good. So that's pretty much everything. So just thank you for your time. Is just anything else? Like obviously, like I said, like any other announcements you should say, like we mentioned before, thanks to a virus that shall not be named brings out of the equation. But once this is all said and done, hopefully maybe I can you play at some shows. I could maybe play maybe a small East Coast tour, or I
That'd
can
be awesome.
do up with like a show at the Masquerade in Atlanta if you can.
No, that would be so good. Yeah, until we know when live music can come back, I'm mainly focusing on writing and recording new music. I do plan, like, I don't know when it's going to happen, but I do plan for a single next year for my solo work. And then me and Sarah Jezebel Deva have one song that we want to do together. I won't say what yet. And yeah, so that's like, there's that for next year. Like, it's just going to be a very, very musical year. And I'm super excited because this year was too, you know, and it's like, well, if you can't go on tour, like there's always options. You can still make new music. That's always an option.
Yeah, and this year has been really great with music. Like albums just coming up all up the wazoo.
Yeah, there's been some great ones this past year. Like I really loved Unleash the Archer's new album.
Great band, like one of the best newer bands I discovered. For about
yeah,
they're great. I still love the New Testament's great. New Heaven Shall Burn, Karak Ongrin, Wolfheart.
Yes.
Are all of a lot of great. Too many to count, name.
Yeah, there's been quite a few. Even I keep forgetting that Delane put out a new album this year. Which the title was very fitting, Apocalypse and Chill. I still think that's hilarious. And yeah, like there's been some bangers for sure. Like it's been just a really good year for music. Yeah, so it's nice to have, you know, that music inspiring me while I create other music. It's no complaints. We'll get back to normalcy soon. We will, and I'm super stoked.
I'm looking forward to that. So everybody, my good friend Lindsay Schoolcraft. See you next time.